بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم رب يسر ولا تعسر رب تمم بخير يا كريم لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك وصلى الله تعالى وسلم وبارك على رسوله سيدنا محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد في الأولين وفي الآخرين وفي الملأ الأعلى إلى يوم الدين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين وعلى الورثة المحمديين وعلى سادة المشركين على عدد سيدنا خاتم الأولياء وعلى سيدنا سلطان الأولياء. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. O beloved, to Allah Almighty, to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, to Ahlul Bayt al-Nabi, to Sahabati Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, to Awliyaullah, to all inheritance of the seekers of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and Sahabati Rasulullah radwanullah alayhi ajma'in. Especially Sultan al-Awliya, Khatamul, our Grandhshaykh Mawlana Abdullah Daghestani, and our Sultan al-Awliya Mawlana Shaykhna, our Shaykh Mawlana Shaykh Muhammad Nazim Alhaqqani, and all Grandshaykhs and all Awliya, Imam of 41 Tariqatun Sufiya Aliyya. Minhum ala At-Tahir, specially from them, the most highly Naqshbandiya Aliyya way. May Allah bless the Imam of it, Sayyidina Shah al-Naqshband, Muhammad Waisir Bukhari, and reward him and upgrade him by cannot be imagined from high ranks in the divine presence of Allah Almighty and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And Allah bless our father, spiritual father, the father of all Siddiqs, of all Naqshbandi Aliyya way, Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiyallahu anhu wa Allah. And Allah Almighty make all of us to be neighbors to Mawlana Shaykh, to Grandhshaykh, and to Sayyidina Shah al-Naqshband, and Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, and to all Sahaba, and to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and Ahlul Bayt al-Nabi radwanullah alayhi ajma'in. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Lovers, you are beloved because you love them. By loving them, you wish to be maqam, to be beloved to them. As Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said to his Sahaba, to his companion, addressing them, that you are my companion. The most highest rank between all the Muhammadi nation, between all the children of Adam alayhi salam, between all the nation, the most higher rank, my companion, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Sahaba. But at the end of the time, well, only they will be loving me and praising me and dressing me by salat wa salam and never seeing me, only by love, because they love me, because Allah Almighty loved me. They are the beloved too. And no comparison then between the one who is beloved to me and between the companion to me. As all prophets are prophets, and the beloved to Allah Almighty was sealed of prophet. And the same for this nation, whom they are beloved to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, different between them and all other most high ranks, companions or the followers, tabi'een, that they used to love Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They used to make their best to please Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they were companion to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But we are ones whom, without seeing Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, without even understanding anything from his practicing or saying or doing anything, except only we have love to Rasulullah, love to Allah Almighty, love to Sahaba, love to Ahlul Bayt al-Nabi. This love upgrades us to be the beloved to Rasulullah. And Rasulullah, he say, they are ahbabi, they are the beloved to me from all the nation. Because they love me and they didn't see me. They kept faith in me, iman, and they didn't see me. They believe and they are reciting Holy Quran and they praying and they didn't were in the time of revelation which used to come over me when you were between me, my companion. And for this they are the beloved. And for this they are the best of my nation in the rank of love as a lovers, because their love much more higher than the one who loves a one who is seeing him all the time. And for this they are the beloved to me. May Allah Almighty help us and bless us by sincerity and real love to Allah Almighty, love to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, love to Ahlul Bayt, to Sahaba, to Awliya. When this love will be completed, when it is a real love, when the one he loves every murid of the Naqshbandiya Aliyya way, as he loves his Shaykh and respect him as he respects his Shaykh. Everyone who loves one of the murids of 40 ways as he loved the Imams of that way, like Sayyidina Abdul Qadir al-Jailani, Sayyidina Ahmad al-Rifai, Sayyidina al-Jazuli, Sayyidina Abu Hassan al-Shazili, Sayyidina Imam al-Shisti. When the one who loved the murids as he loved this Imam then, and the one who loves the nation, everyone of the nation, of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as he loves Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and then the one who loves everyone in humanity, as he loves Allah Almighty, even the one who loves every creation, human being, animals, plants, malaika, jinn, as he loves Allah Almighty, saying that Allah Almighty He is the one created them and He is with everyone. And I love everyone because I love this one. And this one is Allah Almighty, no duality for Him, no a second. And He is the one with everyone. Then you will be the beloved to Allah Almighty, beloved to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, beloved to Awliya, to beloved to the Imams. As a father or mother, they like that their sons and daughters to love each other as they love their father and mother, the same equality in the other side of loving Allah Almighty and His creation, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and His nation, and Ahlul Bayt and Sahaba, and Awliyaullah and Imams of Sufi ways and their followers. May Allah forgive us and take off from our hearts jealousy. Because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, the one whom in day of judgment by balances, Allah Almighty balancing his heart, if there is one tiny unseen atoms of proudness and jealousy in his heart, never will enter Jannah, paradise, because paradise and Jannah is a pure. Only purity, perfect, can be living in purity. And the most dirtiness is the inheriting of Satan, of devil, of shaitan, which is proudness and jealousy. And the most beloved to Allah Almighty, the inheritance of humbleness from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and all prophets and all awliya and sahaba, whom they are the imams of humbleness. And the imam of all, Muhammadun Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allah Almighty witnessing by Himself that Muhammadun Rasulullah. وَكَفَى بِاللَّهِ شَهِيدًا مُحَمَّدٌ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ وَالَّذِينَ مَعَهُ, this one whom beloved to Rasulullah. Allah saying these ones without any questioning, neither passing away, neither in grave, neither in day of judgment. They will be the VIP crossing like lightning with the lights of Allah Almighty and Rasulullah over the Siratul Mustaqim, the right path, which is so tiny, much more tinier than a hair. Not to follow, not to fall down, or the dogs of hell to catch him, to bite him, and to throw him down in hell. And everything is depending is how much you have in your heart. Humbleness, how much you have in heart. Respect, how much you have in your heart to keep everyone happy, to keep everyone that he is the one Allah created him and let him do whatever Allah programmed him, not to interfere in him, not to react aggressively against him. Leave him. Allah give everyone free will to be free, not to be controlled, not to be catched by another one. There is no slavery in Islam. There is no slavery in Islam. There is no slavery in Islam. And Allah Almighty created everyone by His hand and from His lights and let them from His soul to be only Himself responsible for everyone. And He wants him to be acting in this life as Allah Almighty programming him. And Allah only giving to prophets, to imams, to Awliya Allah, to fathers and mothers, to advise their children or their followers or their nation, the creation, to advise them to keep in the right way, reaching to Allah Almighty without ordering or making anything obligatory on them. And for this Allah Almighty telling Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, لا إكراه في الدين, don't force anyone, only invite them to Allah Almighty. Bring them by love to Allah Almighty. Bring them by good behavior to Allah Almighty. Be humble with them. Be like a fall of water, descending, never be ascending up with everyone. Then all they will be gathered in this lake, and this lake will be under the eyes of Allah Almighty. And for this Allah Almighty making the religion of Islam. Islam is to purify the one, to purify the heart, to rebuild the heart on the basis which Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam built up the Kaaba, which Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam built up the Sahaba, which Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam built up the Siddiq, which Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam built up all Awliyaullah. And they were a good example for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And for this Allah Almighty blessed him to be the beloved to Allah Almighty. Because even never making a bad dua a bad prayer on anyone. He used to say, oh Allah Almighty, don't harm them for my sake. Send guidance to them, change them to the best, make them good believers. Don't punish them because they are not respecting me. Don't make me one to be making your people under your punishment, but make me a one to be merciless for your people. Even they are not respecting me, even they are rejecting me. You are Allah Almighty, you are God, everything in your hand. Send guidance, send hidayah to them, make them to love me, make them to respect me. And like this, Allah Almighty making and blessing Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and teaching all prophets and all malaika and even teaching the Rusul, prophets of the Rusul of malaika, the messengers of the malaika, by the humbleness of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that Allah sent him to be the most mercy for all creations, for all creations. He is the mercy of all creations. Because by him, Allah Almighty, by his praying, by his dua, Allah Almighty accepting to extinguish his angerness from our badness and the badness of all creations, and to dread them by mercies, to dread them by forgiveness, to dread them by blessing, to dread them by shafa'ah, and all from the shafa'ah and mercies of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And for this we are so lucky nation that Allah make us from the nation of Muhammadun Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And Allah choosing us to be following the Sahaba of Rasulullah and the Imam of Sahaba, Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiyallahu anhu, Sayyidina Ali radiyallahu anhu, Sayyidina Umar and Sayyidina Usman radiyallahu alayhim ajma'in. And to be following all their successors to Yawm al-Qiyamah, and make us to be in their way, because they are the shepherd. If any one of the cattle, any wolf try to attack him, they will be ready to protect him. But the one who missed to be behind a shepherd in this life is always in every moment under the arrows of punishment from heavens, and be always attacked by shaitan, by devil, by Satan, to trap him in his traps, because he has no shepherd. He is like a missed sheep or a goat, all alone by himself in these mountains and forests. Any wild animal can come and eat them. But when there is shepherd, the shepherd will be the one whom Allah bless him by Sultan, Sultan of power, by godly power, by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam power, to cover all whom following him, not to be trapped or to be attacked by any of these wild animals or devils, or covering them from the arrows of punishment descending from heavens over the sinners. May Allah forgive us. We are in a very holy days, the days which is the day which Allah Almighty making it to be days which Allah swear by it in the Holy Quran. Make it an oath. وَالْفَجْرِ وَلَيَالٍ عَشْرٍ. Allah Almighty is making an oath by the holy morning of Eid al-Adha, and by these 10 days before the Eid, till the Eid, from the 1st of the Hijjah till the 10th of the Hijjah, of the Eid. Allah making them to swear by them, which means they are so holy times to Allah Almighty. Allah make them holy time. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam dread them to be holy time. And Allah Almighty making the one who keep his eyes, his ears, his tongue, every cell of his body, not to commit any sin, especially in the day of the 9th of the Hijjah, the day of standing on Arafah. Allah Almighty will be forgiving and erasing all his sins and forgiving him as if just now he is born. And the one who passed the 9th, the day of the Hijjah, 9th of the Hijjah, day of standing on Arafah, Allah Almighty, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in his hadith, in his talk, he said it will be for this one who fast that day, Allah Almighty will erase the sin of 1 year before and 1 year coming here in front of him. And from the last year of the standing on Arafah till that year of standing on Arafah, all will be erased and all sins be committed from this standing on Arafah this year till the next year. On standing on Arafah, it will be erased. And this for the sake of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. For the one who fasts this day for the sake of Allah Almighty, and the one who will be in this day busying himself all the time by zikrullah, by astaghfirullah, by salat wa salam on Rasulullah, Allah Almighty will upgrade him to be crowded with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and with Ahlul Bayt, with Sahaba, with Awliya. And the one who fasts the 10 days cannot be balanced. Allah will take it by His almighty hand, will not enter it into His balances. It will be rewarded endless and countless from God's generosity of Allah Almighty to that one. And all this why you are doing? Why you are fasting 10 days? Why you are fasting the 9th of Arafah? Why you are celebrating Eid al-Adha? Only because you love Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and you have faith in what Rasulullah said, and you have faith in Allah Almighty. Rasulullah said there is Allah Almighty, worship Him, and don't make partnership to Him. For the love of Rasulullah from you, from us, we wish to have this faith and to be fasting and to be approaching to Allah Almighty, to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And for this Allah Almighty say they are the beloved. And Rasulullah say they are the beloved too, because only by hearing they are doing it, not seeing. As you, my companion, I am living with you, between you, fasting with you, seeing me, what I am doing, you are doing. But these were not seeing me, in unseen, believing in unseen, and they are fulfilling what you are used to fulfill it beside me. And for this they are the beloved to me. And as a Naqshbandiya Aliyya way, the practicing of the 9th of the Hijjah, standing on Arafah that day, which coming from seed of Awliya Grandhshaykh and from Sultan of Awliya Mawlana Shaykh to us, that the one, if he is able to fast that day, and this year it will be Sunday, to fast that day, to fast it for the sake of Allah Almighty and as a gift to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and to in that day to make himself, busying himself by 3 shahada, ashhadu an la ilaha illallah وأشهد أن محمدا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم 3 times, then 1,000 times Astaghfirullah al-Azim wa atubu ilayh. 1,000 times La ilaha illallah, and at the end Muhammadan Rasulullah. 1,000 times to read بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. إخلاص الشيء. 1,000 times Subhanallah walhamdulillah wa la ilaha illallah Allahu Akbar, and at the end of every 100 ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. And 100 times to 1,000 times if he can, but 100 times لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد يحيي ويميت وهو على كل شيء قدير. And also from 100 to 1,000 times لا إله إلا الله الملك الحق المبين محمد رسول الله الصادق الوعد الأمين. And then to finish all these by 2,000 times اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد وسلم صلوات الشريفة. Then he will be, if he is able, standing, or not able to stand, to sit, and to continue 100 times facing the Qibla, facing the Kaaba, facing the Qibla, facing the connection with love of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, love of Allah Almighty, and he will continue standing up 100 times Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad wa sallim. And at the end of them, على أشرف العالمين سيدنا محمد الصلوات، على أفضل العالمين سيدنا محمد الصلوات، على أكمل العالمين سيدنا محمد الصلوات. صلوات الله تعالى وملائكته وأنبيائه ورسله وجميع خلقه على محمد وعلى آل محمد عليه وعليهم السلام. ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. رضي الله تبارك وتعالى عن ساداتنا أصحاب رسول الله أجمعين، وعن التابعين بهم بإحسان، وعن أئمة المجتهدين الماضين، وعن علماء المتقين، وعن أولياء الصالحين، وعن مشايخنا في الطريقة النقشبندية عليه. قدس الله تعالى روحهم الزكية، ونور الله تعالى أضرحته المبارك، وعاد الله تعالى علينا بركاته من ذات الله، والحمد لله رب العالمين. Then he will say, O Allah Almighty, whatever you blessed me by to do, to practice, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, from your good tidings, I give them as a gift إلى شرف النبي, to the honor of Rasulullah, إلى شرف النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم وآله وإلى أصحابه وإلى أرواح إخوانه من الأنبياء والمرسلين وإلى خدماء شرائعهم وإلى أرواح الأئمة الأربعة وإلى أرواح مشائخنا في الطريقة النقشبندية العالية، خاصة إلى أرواح إمام الطريق وأوس الخليل خواجة بهاء الدين النقشبند محمد الويسي البخاري، وخاصة إلى سيدنا ومولانا سلطان الأولياء خاتم الأولياء شيخنا شيخ عبدالله الفايز الدغستاني، خاصة إلى شيخنا ومولانا سلطان الأولياء شيخنا شيخ محمد نازم الحقاني، وإلى أستاذنا سيدنا شيخ شرف الدين الدغستاني والفراغ، وإلى إمام ختم الخواجة سيدنا عبد الخالق وجدوان، وإلى أئمة 41 طريقة إمام of 40, وإلى سائر ساداتنا جميع, which mean all أولياء الله عز وجل and أهل ديوان رسول الله، وإلى صاحب الزمان سيدنا محمد المهدي and all his ministers and khalifs والصديقيين لله تعالى. الفاتحة. Until from morning till Maghrib time you will finish this, and then at Maghrib if you're fasting you will break your fast and you start to say the takbir of the Eid, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Lillah alhamd, till you pray the prayer of the Eid al-Fitr al-Mubarak. And if Allah Almighty giving you to be able to make a qurban for Allah Almighty at that day, it will be the most best thing to do it, because Allah Almighty, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam saying in the hadith, these qurbans which you do, يوم نحشر المتقين إلى الرحمن وفدا, the day which I will crowd the muttaqin to the Rahman, to the most merciful, to Allah Almighty, mean wafda, a VIP. And Rasulullah say, whom they used to make Qurban in Eid al-Adha al-Mubarak, Allah will make them to be riding their Qurbans and VIP crowded in queue to be in the divine presence of Allah Almighty in the day of judgment. May Allah forgive us and mercy us. حرمة الحبيب وحرمة الفاتح. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.